Hey, welcome back to another episode of Donkey Kong Land. This might actually be the last episode. Um, because, this is the last area, and depending on how quickly I go through it, I might just make it one, episode instead of, two like I've been doing, because if I end up getting to the boss, I might as well fight the boss. Might as well not, keep going with it. If I was smart, I would have gone back to a previous level and done the bonus room where you use the coins to get lives in between videos, but I guess I'm not that smart. Well, that was close. But like I was saying, this is the last area of the game, so unless I only get 2 or 3 levels in by the time it's, time to call the video, which is possible, I might as well just finish it off. But if it's going to end up being 40 minutes, I probably won't. So I don't know if I'm going to just keep recording either way, and then you'll probably know this, to answer this question. I don't know if I'm going to... miss the ledge. I don't know if I'm going to I'm not going to go back in that bonus room because that, just to get those coins, didn't seem worth it. It's not like the K was in there or anything. But, like I was saying, I don't know if, which one's going to happen. If I'm just going to hit the 20-ish minute mark and call the episode. If I'm only a few levels in, or if I end up just making it a 40-minute video or not. We'll see, I guess. That's for me to figure out. But it is kind of funny though that it is kind of funny that there's a level where you ride balloons in a game where you collect balloons for lives, and if you look at the balloons, I'm pretty sure they're just the life balloons without Donkey's face on them, right? Boing. Diddy, come on, man. The ledger's right there. Platform, the hitbox or the land box, I don't know what you call it, for the platforms are pretty small. For these balloons. Man. Did he use your, your hand feet to, grab onto the balloons, dude? I know you're no, master of Tai Chi Pekwa, but you need to be at least able to grab these balloons. I guess I missed the DK barrel on that one. I would just get in the barrel if it, put me further in the level, but it seems like I keep dying at the same spot. And I guess if I end up, either splitting this into a couple episodes, this area into a couple episodes, or end up getting too low on lives before the end of it, I'll go get some lives somewhere else, but I'll do that off screen if I'm still recording. This music sounds like it should be for a carnival, doesn't it? By the way, this city is called Big Ape City, so I wonder if it has anything to do with New Donk City. Well, I already got the checkpoint. I don't feel so bad about that one. But I wonder if it has anything to do with New Donk City from Odyssey. Mario Odyssey was a fun game. I've only played it once, I think. Around the time I got it, which I got it around the time I got my Switch, around the time a lot of people got their Switch in 2021. That was one of the games I got. I got Breath of the Wild also. I like Breath of the Wild. I like it more than Tears of the Kingdom. But, like, I don't know if I've... Well, that's fine, whatever. I don't know if I've ever expressed... Cog. I don't know if I've ever expressed how I feel about Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. But, like... I like Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom is alright. Ouch. Like, I didn't like the vehicle aspect of it, you know, the building of vehicles, because it just kind of reminded me of, like, Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. And Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts is alright, but it's kind of like... It's not a Banjo-Kazooie game, let's be real. It's only Banjo-Kazooie because, you know, it's got... Oh yeah, I forgot this is what this level is. It's only Banjo-Kazooie in the fact that Banjo and Kazooie are in it. You're not actually doing anything Banjo-Kazooie related. It's just you build vehicles and then you use those vehicles to do races and stuff like that, or challenges. And it's... Let's just say I waited for years for like a Banjo-Kazooie 3. Even though I didn't have Banjo-Tooie when I was a kid. I did play it, I just never had it. But I wanted a Banjo 3. And then it was like, oh, they're making it. Oh, there's going to be a third one. It's going to be called Nuts and Bolts. And then it's like, it's a, you know, a kart game. And it's like, okay, you know, but you're still going to be able to do Banjo-Kazooie stuff, right? And it's like, no. So that's kind of the vibe it gives me. But at least in Tears of the Kingdom, ow. At least in Tears of the Kingdom, like, you're actually doing, like, similar stuff to, like, Breath of the Wild. But come on now. Like, this is crazy. Yeah, I might end up having to go. That damn claptrap gets me every time. I might have to go get lives. Let's see. You just go back like that, yeah. I might as well just keep ranting because, like, I'm pretty sure it was what, the first or the second level that had the bonus area that let you do that. But like I was saying, you know, Breath of the Wild was great, but I really wanted them to go back to the 3D Zelda model of, like, how things were with, like, Wind Waker and Ocarina of Time and stuff after Breath of the Wild. I felt like Breath of the Wild was really refreshing. I actually hated the way they did the story because, like, it's so disjointed and it's done in a way where it's like, you know, they know that because of the way you can do the Divine Beast in any order, that the way they have to convey the information is by, like, repeating stuff a lot, which, to be fair, they repeated a lot of information. Like, when I play Link to the Past, I'll point this out too. They repeat a lot of the same information in Link to the Past also. Okay, this is not that area that I was thinking it was going to be, but should be one of these bonus areas. But anyway, yeah, so, so that's something that happens even in, like, older Zelda games where they, like, just keep repeating a lot of the same info. But, Breath of the Wild, it's like, And in Tears of the Kingdom, it's like, you know, you've already figured out the story, but we're already telling you the story again, you know? And I just didn't like how disjointed the, well, at least I got to save the game. I just didn't like how disjointed the actual, I don't think it was this level. I want to say it was another one of the jungle levels. Yeah, I think it was like literally, because you go over here and there's like a B, right? And you can go to the left. Is that right? Or am I misremembering? Ow. Or did I already pass that part? I don't remember. Anyway, so, you know, it's like, I just don't like the fact that the story is like really disjointed, you know? Can I start select like in previous games? Yeah, there we go. I don't want to hit a checkpoint because I'm pretty sure it was really close to the beginning. But yeah, I just kind of felt like Tears of the Kingdom. Maybe it's not this level. Maybe it's. Yeah. Anyway, like I just kind of felt like Breath of the Wild was really good. There we go. It's this way. It should be this one, right? Yeah. Look at that. 66 attempts to get lives, and I keep failing every single one of them so far. I wonder, did the game mode get turned off on my TV? I had to unplug the HDMI cable earlier. There we go. Let me just check that real quick. I know, professional at this job, right? Anyway, so you're not going to be able to see it unless like I have to turn it on. Yeah, it's turned off. Alright, it's gonna like flash and show Elgato for a second. There we go. I was wondering why my timing felt off. But, like I was saying, you know, I really want them to go back to the old, like, 3D Zelda model. I don't like this, like, open world. Like, I'm not against open world games. You know, I love Oblivion and Skyrim and stuff like that, and Far Cry. But, like, I don't think it enhances the Zelda experience enough to warrant, like, you know, making a big open world like that. Like, you know, I love the concept of going back to, like, being somewhat cryptic and stuff like the original Zelda game, and giving people the ability to run around and explore. I think that Breath of the Wild is a really beautiful game. I think that Tears of the Kingdom is sometimes beautiful, but with the whole malice thing, like, I don't know, I just don't think it's as pretty as Breath of the Wild. And I think a lot of the abilities were better in Breath of the Wild, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't dislike Tears of the Kingdom. I just don't think it's like... You know what it kind of feels like? It kind of feels like DLC to an extent. And I don't mean that like, you know, there's less content. There's a lot of stuff to do. I just kind of feel like, you know how like in Breath of the Wild they had the DLC that got you the motorcycle, and then they made an entire game where you can just build your own vehicles and stuff. That's kind of what it feels like. It feels like they wanted to make a vehicle building game, but they were also making Tears of the Kingdom, and then they just put them together, you know what I mean? And I don't know, that maybe this is a hot take, maybe this is like, you know, a lot of people disagree with me, but like, I guess I feel the way that a lot of people who wanted Zelda to go back to the 2D style when 3D took over. I think that I'm kind of feeling that same way, where it's like, you know, I can recognize that it's a fun game. You know, I think I'm good. I think I have enough lives. I gotta save them just in case, you know. Anyway, so I think they're good. I think they're fun, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, I've said it before. The older I get, the more I enjoy linearity in games, because, you know, I have less time to play games, and well, not even just having less time to play games, but like, you know, the older I get, it's like, okay, I want to actually play a game that I'm like interested in and that I'm going to end up like wanting to finish. You know what I mean? Like, if I feel like not necessarily that a game is taking a long time, like I'll play a role-playing game, you know, that takes like 150 hours to play, you know, just to play through the first time. Like, I'm cool with that. You know, I'm fine with that. But what I mean is like, you know, a lot of open world games, first of all, a lot of open world games are just empty. And Breath of the Wild has a lot of stuff to do, but it's also kind of empty at times, if you know what I mean. Like, you're running around, you've got a lot of stuff to do, and then you're running around and it's like, you know, a large stretch of land or something like that you're climbing all over the mountains, you're looking all over the place, and you don't find anything because it's kind of empty. Ouch. And, you know, that's fine. Like I said, it's got beautiful landscape and stuff, but a lot of people have criticized, rightly so, some Far Cry games and Assassin's Creed games from Activision, because they have you running around doing like menial tasks, like the same stuff over and over and over again, and like, it was like, well, why even have this open space, you know? Like, it takes me more time to run over here to do something than it does to actually like do the thing. And, you know, one of my favorite open world games is Just Cause 2. That game is amazing. It is really fun. It's hilarious. Like, there's like almost everything, you know, almost something to do everywhere. It's one of those games that you really get like a bang for your buck with. Just Cause 3 and 4 were like pretty decent follow-ups, but like Just Cause 2 was great. And, you know, it's one of those things that like, it's one of those things where it's kind of like, it's very open world, you know what I mean? And it could take literally 2 hours to go from one side of the map to the other side of the map because of like how big the game is. But, you know, the game itself is worth playing, you know what I mean? Same thing with like Oblivion and Skyrim, like they're worth playing, they're fun, they've got a lot of stuff to do. Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas as well. I haven't played 4, so I don't know. I have it, I just haven't played it. These games have a lot of stuff to do, and they're really interesting, and they're really fun, you know? Well, I'm not making it through that. Oh, I think that was the legit KONG, but that's fine. It's whatever. So, you know, those games, I'll attempt the next level. Those games make the open... Ooh, there's something back here, huh? those games make the open world aspect of it fun and enjoyable. And Breath of the Wild, and to an extent Tears of the Kingdom, also made it fun and enjoyable. But I don't know, there's something to me about like a well-structured, well-designed Zelda experience that is somewhat linear, and you know, you can solve puzzles and do dungeons and stuff. Was that a bonus? Yeah, I guess so. Where you can solve the puzzles and do the dungeons and everything. Ouch. And everything just kind of like line up and work out, and like the story, because it's linear, can follow linear progression, so that they can actually feed you the information they want you to know when it's important, instead of giving you the same information like 4 or 5 times before it's like, okay, we finally learned something new, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to be like super negative. Like I said, I like the games. I think they're great. I just don't want that to be Zelda. And maybe I'm alone in this. I don't want them to spend like, you know, 6-7 years developing a Zelda game for it to be like just another Breath of the Wild. Like they found the new formula, and that's what they're gonna like do until it's done, you know? Because I don't know about everyone else, but like I'm kind of sick and tired of companies, like video game AAA companies, just finding the formula and then running that into the dirt, and then only changing because nobody's interested in it anymore. You know what I mean? You know, like the Resident Evil tactic of well, the original Resident Evil series, which honestly I still think the original formula is the best. But the original formula of her survival horror happens. They run that literally into the dirt. Then they do something different with 4. 4 was a major success because it's a really good game. I can't wait to actually play it for the series. I know I need to play 2 and 3 before I do that, but I'm almost tempted to just skip it. Because like my first Resident Evil was 4, and I had no idea of any of the background when I first played it. And at this point, at this point, like, who doesn't really know the story of Resident Evil 4? It's kind of like Doom. It's on every console, you know? And it's been remade. And I'll probably play the original, because as much as I like the remake, I think the original is still better in my opinion. But, you know, they 4 was a hit, and then they ran it into the ground with the mechanics of 4. And then they added multiplayer, and then they tried to stick to the multiplayer, and then they did the first person, you know, shooter return to form, making it a horror game again. But then it was also attached to VR, so if you pay attention to a lot of the jump scares, they linger just long enough where if you were playing in VR, like, you can recover, but if you're not playing in VR, like I wasn't, it just kind of comes off a little awkward. But Resident Evil 7 is still a great game. Ethan sucks, and his wife sucks, but whatever. And then 8 was really good. And 9 hasn't even come out yet. They're talking about it. I really actually know nothing about 9, because I'm kind of, like I said, at a point where, like, I don't really want to play a lot of newer games at the moment. I want to go back and play older games and re-experience games that I haven't played in a long time or never got to play. But I guess I'll end that there, because, you know, video's starting to get you know, overstaying its welcome. But hey, if you watched the video, I appreciate it. If you made it to this point in the video, I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.